Charlie is a student at a prestigious prep school. He's a good-looking kid, but always treated like an outsider. Every weekend, his rich classmates head to the horse races or chase the northern lights in Switzerland. Every night they're at the bar, popping bottles of champagne. Charlie, who comes from a humble background, hustles every spare moment working part-time jobs. Between his wages and his scholarship, he barely keeps his head above water. One day, a friend hooks him up with a new gig, caring for a retired blind military officer for just 3 days. The pay is generous enough to cover a whole year of living expenses. Charlie is thrilled, but his friend warns him, this is no ordinary job. There are some very specific rules. Don't call the man, sir. Don't ask too many questions. And most importantly, if he falls, do not help him up. The more Charlie hears, the more puzzled he gets, but he memorizes every rule. Then he blows it on the very first line.
Sir?
Don't call me sir.
I'm sorry, I mean mister, sir.
Uh-oh. We got a moron here, is that it?
No, mister.
The man tells Charlie to come inside. Charlie walks in nervously to find a middle-aged man sitting in a dimly lit room. The man is intense and unpredictable. He has Charlie drop and do 40 push-ups over the smallest thing. Then he kicks Charlie out without a second thought. Frank's family fills Charlie in on the backstory. His name is Frank Slade, a decorated war hero who earned countless commendations during his military career. He lost his sight in an accident and was forced to retire. Now he spends his days alone in that dark room, just killing time. That evening, back on the other side of campus, Charlie spots some classmates tampering with a light fixture in the school courtyard. They're planning a prank on the headmaster who's always on their case. Charlie and his friend George happen to witness the whole thing. When a teacher walks by, George jumps in and creates a distraction just in time. The next morning, the headmaster steps out of his car and gets drenched in paint. Furious, he vows to track down whoever is responsible. After investigating, he finds that only George and Charlie passed through that area the night before. They must have seen who did it. The headmaster calls them both in and demands the truth. George and Charlie agree on one thing. They're not snitching on their friends. George plays dumb, insisting he saw nothing. With no luck pressing George, the headmaster goes after Charlie. Knowing Charlie's financial situation, he makes him an offer. Give up the name and I'll personally guarantee your spot at Harvard. Charlie is torn, but he still chooses to cover for his friends. Because to him, ratting out a friend is just flat out wrong. The headmaster gives him until Monday. Speak up or you're expelled. After school, Charlie heads back to Frank's place. This time Frank doesn't kick him out. He tells Charlie to help him pack. Charlie asks where they're going. Frank says, New York City. I'm taking a trip, and you're my eyes. Charlie nods and reaches out to help him walk.
Touch me again, I'll kill you, you little son of a bitch. I touch you. Understand?
At the airport, Frank has already booked 2 first-class tickets. It's Charlie's first time on a plane. He's wide-eyed and taking it all in. A flight attendant brings drinks, and Frank thanks her, calling her by name, Donna. Charlie is stunned and asks how he knew her name. Frank says she's wearing a British perfume, but with a California accent. A California girl who dreams of being a proper British lady. She'd love being called Donna. Frank tells Charlie his nose is extraordinarily sharp. Within 5 meters, he can identify exactly what perfume a woman is wearing. The two arrive in New York, and Frank takes Charlie to the city's most luxurious 5-star hotel. They sit down to a lavish dinner, and after a few drinks, Frank finally reveals the real reason for the trip. It turns out Frank has spent his entire life savings on what he calls a farewell tour. Over the next few days, he plans to stay in the finest hotel, enjoy gourmet food and fine wine, visit his only brother to say goodbye, and then end his life in the comfort of a luxury suite. Charlie is stunned into silence. Frank just keeps eating quietly, like nothing out of the ordinary has been said. The next morning, Charlie gets a call from George. George tells him to stick to the story. Say you saw nothing. Remember, we don't snitch on friends. Frank overhears the conversation and asks about George's background. Charlie tells him George's father is a major donor to the school, though George swears he won't ask his dad to bail him out. Frank lets out a cold laugh and says George is a rich kid. He'll walk away clean, and you'll be left holding the bag. If you don't want to get expelled, tell the headmaster the truth. Charlie pushes back. I can live without an elite degree, but I refuse to be a sellout. Frank smirks and says nothing. That evening, Frank takes Charlie to dinner. One sniff, and Frank accurately names the perfume of a woman nearby. Charlie looks in the direction Frank points. A young woman, poised and dining alone. Frank walks over and politely asks if she'd like to dance a tango. She says she doesn't know how. Frank tells her he can teach her right now. She hesitates and says she's afraid of making mistakes. Frank smiles and says, this is the tango, not life. There are no mistakes. He takes her hand and leads her to the center of the dance floor. What follows is one of the most iconic dance scenes in cinema history. When the music ends, the woman gazes at Frank thoughtfully. Frank simply waves his hand and walks away. The next day, Charlie finds Frank hasn't gotten up and goes to check on him. Frank is lying in bed, defeated, and tells Charlie his return ticket and wages are in the wallet. Take them and go. It's time for him to execute his plan. Charlie realizes Frank wants to be alone to end things once Charlie leaves. Charlie refuses to give up.
Can we start over, please? What do you feel like doing today, huh? I mean, look at this. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. Colonel, come on, Colonel. You're not gonna die today.
All right.
Yeah, Colonel Slade. What do you say? Let's go for a ride, huh?
He takes Frank to a Ferrari dealership. He remembers Frank once said his two great loves are women and Ferraris. They rent a Ferrari, and Charlie takes Frank for a ride. But Frank isn't satisfied just being a passenger. He wants to drive. Charlie is terrified. Frank doesn't ask twice. He floors it.
Wait! Just wait! Here I go! Here I go! Wait! Now! Look at it! Oh, Charlie! Whoa!
The joyride catches the attention of the police. An officer demands their IDs. Charlie is frozen with fear, but Frank chats with the cop like it's nothing. Somehow, the officer never figures out Frank is blind. The ride ends, and Frank is in the best mood he's been in all trip. Back at the hotel, Frank asks Charlie to pour him a glass of red wine. Charlie steps out, then immediately feels something is wrong and turns back. He walks in to find Frank dressed and composed, ready to end his life. Charlie rushes in and wrestles the gun away from him. Frank screams, "What's the point of a washed-up wreck like me being alive?" Charlie says, "How can you call yourself useless? You dance the best tango in the world." Frank laughs bitterly and says,
You never seen anyone do either. Oh, where do I go from here, Charlie?
Beneath the pride, Frank has been living in total despair. After losing his sight, the way people treated him shattered whatever faith he had in the world. But Charlie's presence has reignited something, a flicker of hope in humanity. This young man is honest, full of passion, and above all, he has principles. No matter the cost, he refuses to compromise. Frank finally puts down the gun, and both of them break down in tears. Monday comes, and Charlie returns to school for the assembly. George's father shows up in person, sitting right beside his son for backup. Charlie sits alone on the other side. The moment the meeting begins, George claims he wasn't wearing his glasses that day and didn't see a thing. With George's powerful father applying pressure, the headmaster lets George off the hook. He turns all his heat onto Charlie. Charlie is cornered. Then Frank walks in and takes a seat beside him, stepping in as his guardian. The headmaster ignores Frank and keeps pressuring Charlie.
Mr. Sims, you're exhausting my patience and making a mockery of these proceedings. I will give you one last chance. The consequences of your response will be dire. By dire, Mr. Sims, I mean your future will be jeopardized permanently.
Well, I saw something, but I couldn't say who.
I'm going to recommend to the disciplinary committee that you be expelled.
Frank stands up and says, "Do you have any idea what you're doing here today?"
Here's Charlie facing the fire, and there's George hiding in Big Daddy's pocket. And what are you doing? You're gonna reward George. Destroy Charlie.
The headmaster snaps back and tries to shut Frank down.
Sir, you're out of order.
Out of order? I show you out of order. You don't know what out of order is, Mr. Trash. If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place.
In that moment, Frank transforms. He's no longer a broken retiree. He's a commanding officer back on the battlefield. His presence silences the entire room. No one dares to interrupt. Frank speaks slowly and deliberately. What is the motto of this school? Is it to teach boys to rat out their friends to save themselves? You are in the business of building cowards and punishing the one kid who actually has a backbone. You are destroying the very integrity this school claims to stand for. I don't know if Charlie's silence was right or wrong, but I can tell you this. He would never sell out a friend for personal gain. And that is called integrity. And that is called courage. Then Frank raises his voice and delivers his final line.
Now here's Charlie. He's come to the crossroad. He has chosen a path. It's the right path. It's a path made of principle that leads to character. Let him continue on his journey. You hold this boy's future in your hands, committee. It's a valuable future. Believe me, don't destroy it. Protect it. Embrace it.
His words thunder through the hall. The audience erupts into applause. The board votes to drop all charges against Charlie. He is fully cleared of any responsibility. The announcement sends the whole school into an uproar. Students and faculty rise to their feet, applauding Charlie and Frank. Surrounded by cheers, the two walk out of the auditorium together. Charlie knows better than anyone that what Frank taught him today is worth more than anything he'll ever learn in school.